how's it going everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Shokuho, the Japan mod for Mound and Blade 2 of Bannerlord, and they just dropped a brand new trailer for the mod showing off brand new gameplay, tons of new mechanics, as well as a first little glimpse of the naval combat that is shown right towards the end of the trailer itself. On top of that, in this video we're going to go through all of that, but the developers were also kind enough to go ahead and tell me a bit more about the naval combat, how it's going to work, what you're going to be able to do. So make sure to stick around towards the end of the video where we're going to go through all of that. And then finally, it's super awesome to see just how well this trailer has done. When I am recording this, the video is on about 100,000+ views, which is just incredible. I feel like the hype of Bannerlord has really died down recently, just solely because it's been so slow with updates and nothing really major happening with the game. But the hype around this video really does show that people are just super excited and are still here for these major overhaul mods like Shokuho, like Kingdom of Arda, and so many other ones. So what I'll do first off, I'll let you just watch the trailer on your screen right now. I also recommend, if you haven't already, to go over to the actual trailer and drop a like and a comment on it. Really help push that to more people. And then we'll go through the trailer bit by bit, talking about the features, and finally, of course, talking about the naval stuff at the end. So yeah, that was the trailer. Absolutely awesome. They must have put so much work into it, and hopefully this is a big bump in motivation for them to see just how many people are excited for this mod and simply can't wait, because some of the stuff that they're doing is just absolutely incredible. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive through the actual trailer itself, and we can talk about bits as they do pop up, because there's so many awesome features, and we kind of forget, I guess, because obviously they did do that dev live stream over on Discord, but the quality of that stream was a little bit under, I guess, what we were seeing right now. So it's really cool to see kind of it in all of its glory. And right here we're getting a nice little glimpse of the campaign map, and you can see over in the dev stream that they did months ago, like last year, you saw that they basically only managed to complete about 2 of the islands, and now they are really starting to fill in tons of Japan. I mean, just look at that. That's pretty far up, right? Previously, they had this island completed and the island on the far left, and now we have the majority of the mainland completely filled in. Obviously, I'm sure there's stuff that they need to go over to tweak and improve and kind of gloss over the parts that they've already done maybe months ago, but still, this is really promising, you know, the amount that they've actually done in the mod already. Of course, we're going to be getting, you know, kind of naval travel and, of course, naval combat in the mod. And I believe, actually, Tailworlds have recently changed the way that naval travel works on the campaign map as well. Even though it's not in the base game, Tailworlds have put some stuff into place to actually make it much more modder-friendly, I guess, for ships to move from point to point and, of course, across the seas as well, which is good to see. You know, it's great to see. On top of that, you can also buy boats in the mod, which is always nice, and this is going to vary depending on your income, the size of your army, and everything else along them lines. As you can see, there is actually income for these boats, so if you do go ahead and pick up a boat, depending on how big it is, it's going to cost you money and add to your monthly expenses. I assume as well you're going to need a fleet to go ahead and transport the majority of your army, and some are going to be better in combat, and some are, I assume, are going to be better at moving actual troops around the campaign map. At the actual stats really quickly, you can see that obviously upkeep at the top, the price of it. I assume this middle one is going to be carry capacity, so how much you can actually carry, whether it's trade goods or whatever. And then I assume the bottom one is how many soldiers you can take on that boat, or maybe it's how many sailors required to actually sail it. I'm not too sure. I would assume it would be the first one. Like, this is going to be your capacity of troops you can bring on the boat. You can see down here in the bottom one, this ship is pretty massive, and it has 120 soldiers that it can take. So this is going to be more of a transport combat ship, I would imagine. And again, I imagine all of these numbers are very likely to change as they get ready and are obviously there to balance the game. On top of that, we also have some religion in the game, which is going to be interesting. Kind of the battle between religions and stuff that are going to be there, and that's going to enable you to actually be able to recruit specific units. And again, just kind of giving the player opportunities to recruit specific units is always really interesting. You know, you can kind of go down a path and bring them powerful units into your game, and having unique ways to unlock them is always great. There's also reading books as well. You're going to be able to go ahead and boost certain stats in certain areas, which again is always nice to go ahead and really focus in, especially if it's a skill that you're not actually focusing on it as well. Being able to then just get a book to boost it up to a certain level is always really useful. Right here as well, we also get a nice little glimpse of the actual some siege maps as well. And again, really cool. They've done some interesting things from the dev stream as well, that we do actually kind of have multi-layer sieges. And from what we've seen, it hasn't been completely confirmed, especially not in this trailer, but there seems to be much more staggered defenses from the AI. I don't know if they've got in specifically to go and change that up, but it does seem like the AI basically defends specific places in a siege map, and they'll retreat back to them places, and then kind of as soldiers die, they'll then filter out of the keep to kind of try and reclaim and retake them positions, rather than just having your army completely on the front lines of the settlement. And that kind of fits the more, I guess, Japanese castle and the way they're defended. They're not like these long walls. They're basically these killing zones and choke points. So again, that's going to be very unique to this mod and very interesting to see how that does fully play out. The next feature we get a nice little glimpse at is the ability to actually promote your soldiers. So if your soldiers, you know, go ahead and excel in battle, they're going to then be able to be promoted to a lord. On top of that as well, there is destruction in the game, so you can actually utilize your fire arrows to destroy defenses as well as buildings inside of the settlement, which again is pretty interesting, right? I wonder if you're going to be able to target them like you can now in 1.2.8 or whatever Bannerlord patch that we're currently on. You can target formations. So I wonder if you could tell your archers to target a specific building. That'd be a really cool feature if that is implemented. Again, we'll have to see if it's just kind of like collateral damage or if your archers can actually specifically be used to destroy specific towers. I really hope that is in the game. The next thing we get a nice little look at is another little, I guess, scene mechanic, and more of these are actually really awesome. We're about to get raiding as well, but if we go back really quickly to take a look at it, so this is going to be, if there's a major battle on the campaign map that you're not a part of, there's going to be these battlefields that you can visit, much like hideouts, much like, you know, raiding villages or whatever, and you can come to these battlefields and you can loot, you know, you can loot the dead, and obviously it's not very honorable, but you can do that, and you're going to run into other bandits and other things like that, so you're going to run into these other raiding parties, and you're going to have to obviously deal with them, kill them, or get out. On top of that, we also have raiding and burning and looting villages as well. Again, more interaction with this stuff is awesome. And again, with the actual mechanics that they've got in for destroying buildings, you can now do that, I imagine, actually inside of these villages. You can burn down it, and hopefully we'll see that that actually does affect like the actual hearth of the village. But maybe you actually end up destroying some buildings and stuff like that people have to go in and repair. Like, that'd be really interesting. On top of that, we get a nice little look at all the armors. I mean, there's no question about it, right? All the armors are beautiful, but also something to really keep in mind, I mean, just look at it, is the actual scenes themselves. This is one thing I think this mod, among many other things, does immaculately, and that is these scenes. They really do just immerse you in a completely different world from Bannerlord. I mean, just look at it. They've done such a great job with the lighting, the atmosphere, the trees, the vegetation, and on top of that with the armors. Yeah, they've done a really, really good job of just completely taking you out of like a Western medieval world and into more of an Eastern one. Now we get to move on to some battle stuff as well. Again, the battles are always going to be a big part of the mod, and again, the scenes just do such a great job at that. All the banners fluttering. It does seem like as well that they have dramatically changed up how combat works. It does look like much more like the RBM style of combat. I mean, look at that as well. Wow. Having multiple like attack points and gates and stuff, and as you can see, way more choke pointy than the other one. But by the looks of it, this castle, you're kind of designed to kind of go through this outer keep and then make your way up through here into this keep, and then finally up into the final one, all while arrows and stuff are shooting down. I think they have probably done a painstaking process of, you know, setting the AI so that it does specifically know where to defend. You can kind of see archers all up in these arrow ports and stuff like that, which again, I imagine took them a long time to do, but adds so much extra quality and immersion to the mod. You know, it's much better that than having just blocks of infantry just being there for the sake of being there. Now we move into the actual combat side of things, and you can see things really erupting. All the arrow fire, the soldiers moving in. They are also working on custom stances as well, so that the infantry are not going to be solely utilizing, you know, Bannerlord style medieval sword combat. You know, they are setting animations and stuff to go ahead and deal with that. This is also, again, another custom scene as well, which looks beautiful, but you're going to have these mechanics scattered around the campaign map, where you're actually going to be visiting and dueling famous warriors. And of course, the better the warrior, the higher stats they're going to have, and the harder it's going to be to take them down. So you actually have like this completely different side quest just to kind of conquer all the sword masters of Japan and kind of become the most renowned duelist. And I imagine it's going to get kind of difficult, you know, because they're just going to be so quick on the draw. You might have to do some crazy stuff, and again, just kind of, you know, improve your own skill so that you can strike them before they strike you. And then finally, as this kind of rinses down, we do also get a little glimpse of the naval stuff. So yeah, this is going to be something very unique to the mod and very, very interesting. There are tons of ship designs. There's even like a floating fortress ship design, which is pretty crazy. And they have working cannons and other things along them lines. So yeah, look at that. There's just not one ship. It is multiple ships in a fleet. And honestly, it just looks really, really good. So naval combat is going to be something very, very unique and special to this mod. You can even see, look at that, like, oh god, it looks so good. Look at them. They've done such a great job with that. So if we revert back to the naval side of things just really quickly. So yeah, if we talk about the naval stuff now, so this is what the mod lead went ahead and told me about the naval combat. So he said the boats are fully controllable by the player and the AI. They are driven by WASD, or your troops can pilot them and you can give them orders just like in a normal battle. So kind of think as naval battles as just a normal battle on land. Like, you're able to move these ships around. ground. Normal commands such as charge and hold position are all going to work. There are no predetermined paths whatsoever, so you can navigate to your heart's content and just kind of sail off into the winds if you want to. You're free to move forward, backwards, left, right. However, if you want your ships, and you can move your ships, as I said, in whatever direction that you want. They are not on rails like other mods. There's a bunch of other mods where kind of, I guess in Warband, where ships just kind of move slowly towards each other and then kind of connect in. Collision is completely simulated in these, along with collision damage. Again, think of these ships much like the destroyable buildings in sieges and villages. You're going to be able to destroy these ships and they are going to be, be able to be sunk. You can board as well, so when two ships get close to each other and are not moving, you're going to be able to activate a boarding action, and again, that's going to be simulated. You're going to be able to move on to enemy ships. You're going to be able to raise multiple fleets as well, so it's not just going to be a single ship that you have command of. You're going to be able to command and, I guess, drive multiple of these ships in your fleet, and so is the AI, which again is really, really interesting and ambitious. Some boats will have cannons, others will have fire arrows, and again, all that damage is simulated as well, so you're going to be able to destroy ships and burn them and sink them. And again, the cannons, I imagine, are going to be great at sinking enemy ships. And as I mentioned, there are going to be cannon ships, European ships and stuff like that. They've already got a handful of Portuguese ones in the mod, which looks really exciting. And yeah, this is just like very, very interesting. I can't wait to see a proper gameplay showcase of the naval combat, I imagine, once it's a bit more fine-tuned. But this is just so promising with what they've got. And again, with the naval stuff, it's going to take this mod to the whole next level. If everything else wasn't great enough, like this completely new, interesting, massive mechanic is going to be very, very cool. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Please let me know what you thought of the trailer. As I mentioned, please go over and actually just drop a like and a comment and watch it the whole way through to go and get the trailer out there to more people. I'll leave a link to that along with the mod's Discord, but you can keep up to date with it down below in the description. If you haven't already, make sure you drop a like and a comment down below on my channel, and of course subscribe, as I'll be bringing you any Shokuho news that we get. You guys will be the first to know whether it's on my community page or if it's worthy of a video. I will 100% doing it. And before anybody asks, Jackie, will you be playing this mod when it does release? Yes, 100%. I will be there day one, day zero, day whatever they let me play this, because it is so exciting and it just looks incredible. And yeah, truly they're doing an amazing job. So massive shout out to the team, and I'll see you guys in the next one.